How many times have Liverpool botched a transfer or a move not materialised, only for the supporters to raise their arms in frustration? However, there were some times when the club were genuinely lucky to have missed out on some targets for various reasons. Take a look at 8 dodged bullets. Sylvain Marveaux. Such was his lack of impact in English football. Many of you may have forgotten about Sylvain Marveaux already. After the Frenchman reportedly failed a medical at Melwood in 2011, he moved to Newcastle instead, spent 5 years looking like a poor man's Ben Arfa, before getting spat out upon relegation following 2 goals in 57 games. If he thought he was free of his Tyneside misery, think again, Sylvain. He was arrested in April in connection with the HM Revenue and Customs criminal investigation into an alleged £5 million tax fraud in football transfers. Clint Dempsey. So things got a bit out of hand in the summer of 2012. With Andy Carroll having looked as much use as a glass hammer, Brendan Rodgers spent the summer clamouring over Fulham's 23-goal Clint Dempsey. However, the club were eventually reported for tapping up and were forced to issue an apology. So I suppose some things never change. Liverpool had even announced on its website in late August that the American had signed for the club, only for him to go to Spurs instead, where he scored 7 goals and left England forever the following year. Gaston Ramirez. So you might have thought Jurgen Klopp had left his brain on the kitchen counter when he eyed up a move for Gaston Ramirez last season. Yep, the same lad whose attitude stunk up the riverside during the latter half of the campaign. However, it's not the first time he was linked with the Reds. In April 2012, the club tabled a £16.3 million bid for the then Bologna wide man. The move never materialised, he signed for Southampton, and Liverpool fans everywhere breathed a sigh of relief. Loic Remy. Remember that summer when Liverpool sold Luis Suarez? So to compensate, tried to grab as many players who knew where the back of the net was, and Ricky Lambert for some reason. Loic Remy was just another on the list, with the club agreeing an £8 million fee with QPR, following the Frenchman's successful loan spell at Newcastle. However, the Reds quickly pulled out of the deal when he subsequently failed his medical. Probably a good job too, because he's been injured practically ever since. Isn't that right, Chelsea? Jean-Along Boumsong. It's hard to believe that anyone beside Graham Souness ever thought Jean-Along Boumsong was ever going to make it in English football. However, before he went to Newcastle in 2005 and managed to make Titus Bramble look like Paolo Maldini, he was actually highly thought of on the continent. The Auxerre defender was a long-time target for Gerard Houllier in 2003, with the then 24-year-old agreeing a move to Merseyside. The Liverpool boss was left fuming when Boumsong pulled out and signed for Rangers instead, accusing him of being deceitful and making a choice based on money. Michael Turner. What is it with Liverpool and their attempts to sign average defenders? In 2009, following an impressive debut Premier League season for Hull City, Michael Turner was linked with the Reds. Phil Brown had described the likes of Liverpool and Man City's £6 million offers as ridiculous, so he sold Turner to Sunderland 2 weeks later for £4 million. I'm sure it made sense to him. Carlton Cole. Remember that time everybody thought Carlton Cole was actually destined to be a top Premier League striker and not the overpaid man taking up space in the corner of Upton Park? Maybe he was eating his Weetabix bright and early during that part of his career, who knows? But the fact that he scored 20 league goals across 2 seasons looks a little out of place when you consider his average league goals tally for a season is 3. It was enough to fool Liverpool though, with Roy Hodgson tabling several offers for him in 2010. West Ham didn't take the money or the offer of Ryan Babel, and Cole scored 5 goals the following season. They were relegated. He was released both 3 and 5 years later. At 33 years young, he's playing in Indonesia and has found the back of the net once since 2015. David Wheater. I wonder if when Ben Gibson has a nightmare, it's about David Wheater and the misfortune he suffered since he was tipped as Middlesbrough's next hope. Like Gibson, Wheater came through the ranks at his boyhood club, receiving call-ups to the national side and was linked to every Tom, Dick and Harry once the club slipped out of the top flight. Liverpool were just one club linked with Wheater in 2009, with Benitez a long-time admirer. The move never did come to fruition though, and he has since played 1 more season in the Premier League, getting relegated once again, this time with the Bolton Wanderers. And as far as England call-ups go, come on now. So Ben, over to you.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.